Item number 10, consider approval to allow Jackie's Recycling Center to process metal and at the transfer station for $70 per ton, payment to the fiscal court.
Motion. Second.
Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Quayle?
Yes.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker? Unanimous.
That's for all the people, the metal people bring to the thing there instead of,
He's been doing that for several years, ain't he, Keith? We're getting pretty full out there, to be honest with you, so,
pretty good pile.
yeah. Item number 11, consider approval of salt bids for Morton Salt for $88.95 per ton for 400 tons.
Motion.
Second. Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker? Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Quayle?
Yes.
Unanimous.
That's up quite a bit from last year. What we do last year on Jimmy, was it 60-something last year?
67, I thought it was, or somewhere, 64, Jesus.
So,
Hope we ain't gotta use it.
You got quite a bit, don't you?
About I'm full.
It's probably those tariffs, I'd say.
You don't have to buy it. Is that right, Jimmy?
well, we hope they don't make
We
it.
don't.
I'm talking about, they don't make you.
We hope we don't.
Okay.
This was the
Oh,
cheapest
okay.
bid on the reverse salt, so I mean, that's,
Yeah.
if we do have to buy it,
Never in the past.
if we do, at least locks us in for the cheapest we can get it, so. Item number 12, consider approval of non-public student transportation contract for fiscal year 2018-19.
This is our same, our yearly.
Same thing we do every year.
Motion.
Second.
Yes.
Mr. Quayle, sorry.
Yes.
Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker? Yes. Unanimous.
Now I have to close the existing meeting. I need a motion to close the meeting and open the public hearing.
Motion to close meeting, open the public hearing, discussing County Road 8.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Quayle?
Yes.
Mr. Bishop? Yes. Mr. Wicker? Yes.
Any discussion about open County Road 8 for fiscal year 2018-19? Anybody got any questions or concerns? Anybody got anything?
No. I know.
Seeing no public comment.
No public comment. Need a motion to
Motion to
close.
Close meeting.
Second.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Quayle?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker? Yes. Unanimous.
Motion to open public hearing for use of LGEA funds for fiscal year 2018-19.
Motion.
Second. Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker? Yes. Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Quayle? Yes.
Any comments or concerns about LGEA funds?
These funds are only used for specific purposes, right? That's, we got a list.
About 50,000 a year is what we're
Yeah.
getting out of that, so. I know we discussed buying a van probably at the detention center with that last time, so, at the budget, so. I think we need one, don't you, Barry? I need a motion to close the meeting and
Motion.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Bishop? Yes. Mr. Wicker? Mr. Quayle? Unanimous.
now I need a motion to go back into regular session.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Quayle?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker? Mr. Bishop? Yes. Unanimous.
The next item is to open rock and fuel bids. Anybody? We got a sealed asphalt bid, asphalt and stone from Hayden Materials. You want to open up? You want me to, Jimmy?
Did we get more than one bid?
DNR for fuel bid.
Jimmy, you want to come up for an opening? I think you should, don't you?
Looks like the tackle's $3.50 per gallon. Bottom of surface $59.95. Dense grade per ton is $9.95. Number 3 rock per ton is $10.15. Riprap per ton is $13. 57s are $11.75 per ton, and 9s are $11.75 per ton.
What was the dense grade? I apologize.
Dense grade is $9.95 per ton. Is it up a little bit from last year, Jimmy?
Yeah. It went-
All rock's going up.
Yeah. Fuel bid from DNR Oil. Yeah, okay. Looks like it's, regular unleaded gas is, $2.46 per gallon. Premium unleaded is $2.96 per gallon. And diesel is $2.69 per gallon from DNR.
269?
$2.69 is what it, that's, I can't see, I think it's what it said, yeah, $2.69.
Did you give us a price on tackle, or was that
They don't do tack oil, do they, Jimmy?
Just fuel.
Just fuel.
Okay. Now, did they just, DNR, did they just sign a contract, change the name to Key? Well, I believe that's going to happen.
It's got
It's
DNR,
been coming out as Keystone for a while. You
Yeah.
get two separate buildings, but that's how mine comes out.
But this is
Do
specifically
they have to bid
DNR.
our off-road diesel too?
We don't use off-road diesel.
You just run the road and everything? That's usually a little cheaper for the equipment.
Yeah, we just got one tank set up out there. So we get the-
you got the bids on that?
I've got the bids, do we want
We
to
gonna
accept them?
accept the bids?
Motion to accept the bids.
Both, do a motion.
Bids, yeah, both.
Mr. Quayle,
Yes.
Mr. Bishop,
Yes.
Mr. Evans.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Consider approval of litter abatement funds and AOC space rental funds to the detention center. The litter abatement's $21,000, AOC is $3,400.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Evans,
Yes.
Mr. Ware,
Yes.
Mr. Bishop,
Yes.
Mr. Quayle.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Number 17, consider approval of renewal of lease of St. Augustine parking lot. This was something I didn't know we even had a lease on, to be honest with
Well,
you.
I'm wondering,
Actually-
I don't even remember it.
Yeah, there's
I
been
remember a
a,
long time ago.
2013,
we
there was a lease, a lease signed.
actually, that lease goes back to
When we had to use
when
it
the
for
original
parking.
purchase, and
Yeah.
Judge Hergen actually leased that to St. Augustine, or leased that from St. Augustine, excuse
Back
me.
in 2013, we did agree to seal and stripe and
Yeah.
keep insurance on the parking lot.
Correct.
We went by and looked at it,
Larry went by
far
yesterday
as-
and looked at it.
insuring it for public use, for public parking, and like it's, I'm okay with that, but as far as sealing and striping, I don't think it actually needs it. It might in a few years, but, if they want us to lease it just to pay the liability insurance for public use and everything.
Yeah, I agree with that.
This last agreement did agree that we would stripe and seal it, but
Yeah.
again, it cost us, how much was it, Kevin? It's $3,600 last time we did that, so.
And I think that agreement was for that, and I could be mistaken, but I think actually what we agreed to from a court standpoint was to do it that one time, that wasn't a
Yeah.
continual basis.
That's why I brought it to court, just to see what you all wanted to do on that going forward.
So you want to make a motion to renew the lease?
Just,
That's it.
just on the insurance side of it for public and us, we still, a few people use it, but all our parking's up here, both
Yeah.
buildings now, so. I'd make a motion to, if it's acceptable to them, just to lease it and pay the liability insurance on it. If that doesn't suit them, then
I mean,
Striping.
no sealing.
Yeah.
Motion just to lease it and take care of the insurance side of it.
Second.
so I wasn't even aware of it till I got a call, and it was, I think it expires in July, is when it expires, so.
Because back when that was actually done, the judge's office was where Mr. Mangley's office is. There was no
Courthouse
parking
was too.
in the courthouse, and there was no parking, so that's when they reached that agreement, so.
You didn't second, correct?
Yes.
Okay, Mr.
Yes.
Coyle, Mr. Bishop, Mr. Wicker, Mr. Evans,
Yes.
unanimous.
They'll have to, I guess they'll have to drop a new, or I don't have.
They'll have to remove that, they'll have to remove the
That
ceiling and
clause.
striping off this agreement. So
Yeah,
it's for 5 years. It was done in 2013.
I'd have just have the county attorney's office do that. So, on the lease agreement with St. Augustine on the parking lot, we need to redo the lease agreement and remove the statement of, or the commitment of sealing
And strike.
and striping.
Makes any difference to them, they maybe would want to do it 2 years instead of 5. It's 5 originally, but I don't see a problem with that. If that's what, for some reason they might want 2 instead of 5, or.
Well, I'd say we move forward with the 5-year, and if they have a
That's what I'm saying.
concern
If
issue,
they've
they
got
can
a
always come
concern, they
back.
can let us know.
Yeah. Did you get that? Thanks, sir.
Item 18, consider approval of the annual insurance policy at the fairgrounds.
Motion?
Mr. Coyle,
Yes.
Mr. Bishop. Yes. Mr. Evans,
Yes.
Mr. Wicker,
Yes.
unanimous.
This takes care of all the activities at the fairground, fair and any kind of activities.
Item 19, consider approval of budget transfer to the road department, $30,000.
Motion.
Second?
Mr. Bishop,
Yes.
Mr. Coyle,
Yes.
Mr. Wicker,
Yes.
Mr. Evans,
Yes.
unanimous.
Item 20, consider approval of agreement with SWETA for $15,000 in support of the Career Center. They have already sent us a check on that. It's the same thing they did last year, which is
Motion.
good.
Second. Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Coyle?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Hey, Judge, back on that other item with item 19. It's got, is EMS involved in that too?
They-
Um, Okay.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
I hear you, Robbie. Great job, Mr. Turner.
21, department reports. Jimmy, I think you got a report in here. don't you?
Last week, right before the county got 5 inches of rain, but down 5
Yeah.
We had several washouts, a few trees down, everything. I've been working on that all week and still got a few problems there. Got the tractors and the boom mowers out, mowing. I've got several want to take vacation this time of year, everybody wants to take vacation. The CD&D site, the old CD&D site needs to be seeded and dirt put over it in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I've got to get that done. That should take me 3 or 4 days. I got a job on Lover's Lane. We're going to do some work around some curves out there. Delbert Knox, I got to do some work out there. We're going to clean out some trees and stuff. And I got to prep a lot of the roads that we're going to blacktop.
You got anything else to do?
I got a lot to do. Got a lot to do.
But now then Hayden bid comes in close to you,
Yeah.
you don't need to do all that.
And they're still on y'all's road list, that's not all the roads, that ain't near the road. We still gonna do a bunch of them.
Oh, we know that.
And this is just the estimate,
Yeah,
right?
and that's just it.
You wanted to make that, so you're not holding specifically to those figures you provided us?
No, no.
All right, I think, yeah. Oh, that's nice cover.
He wanted to make,
Close, though.
he wanted to make that clear.
Thank God.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim, appreciate it.
Keith?
Yeah, we got money for that this week, that we got money grant from the last 2. Got one for $94,035, that's the recycling grant, for a couple months ago. It will allow us to buy some more equipment for the recycling center, paper shredder, for last pulverizer, and stuff like that. So we got notification, we got a $4,000 waste tire grant. So the tires we bring out to the county barn, find one on the side of the road, anybody who has a tire, if we want to put it up off the farm, to clean the ends to the ears, and we can take them. So we got that.
We get, excuse me, but you don't actually have specific dates yet, do you?
Pardon?
Do you have dates yet on that?
It'll be next year.
No, not this year. Okay, I apologize. Fiscal year 19.
If we get the grants that Sharon and my office are working on, the 911 and the Homeland Security grants, for 911 equipment, and we're going to be on track to receive about $2 million total through grants. We started submitting grants.
Awesome.
We're about $1.7 million right now. That metal at Jack's Recycling Center, I renegotiated that with him last week. He gave us $50 a ton the last time the metal's up, so we got $70 a ton. The chip seal grant for Elm School Road has been submitted. That'll be about $34,500. I don't see why we won't get it, but you never know. Funds are not swept by the governor or something, like that. So, I think it's going good. Jimmy and I are going to be working together in the next few days, probably Jimmy taking pictures on what? Some of the roads,
Flex funds, yeah.
flex funds, discretionary funding monies, and bridges, everything. So we do photographic documentation of the grants.
Sounds good.
But if you don't submit a grant, like when Roy Levine told us, about giving us some grants. But, they're good applications, too. We send them good applications.
That's what it takes. Thank you, Mr. Brock. Keep up the good work.
Keith. Yeah, happy birthday.
Mr. Brock's birthday balloons in there, huh?
Yeah.
And how old are you, Mr. Brock?
Well, somebody said I was 90.
Are you closer to?
75,
Well, happy birthday.
I'm just half done.
Is that done?
I'm going to play music at the nursing home for everybody in the room.
3/4 of a century. Is that what you said, Jailer? Dang, that's a different way to look at it. You look great. Appreciate all you do. Hope you hang in there for a little longer for us.
Get a few more years out of you.
Thank you, Keith. Barry?
I turned in the report. The only thing really is important right now is it's not our monthly report time, but it's just account high. And we submitted our status to receiving the discharge building to Department of Corrections. They wanted to go through building and housing, so we got off real lucky with that. Building and housing in Frankfurt kicked it back down to local building and housing. Since we're not having anything residential or used, it's going to be considered as a business.
Good.
So it will not have to have fire suppression type stuff. So
It is good.
That's a big plus off of the construction part of it. It puts us more in line to have what we anticipate for the building. So we'll be submitting a request for a permit from the city of Lebanon, and John Thompson will give us hopefully the go ahead and we'll get started.
Awesome.
Deal.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barry.
Thanks, Barry.
Robbie?
For the month of May, we answered 261 calls for service. And from January 1 to May 31st, we responded to 1,266 calls for service. As you all know, we got in our next budget year to remount another truck. We want to go with gas, but nobody's putting gas in it. And that size chassis right now. Ford's not, GM's not. So I have a state contract being priced for a F-550 with a 6.7 Ford diesel engine at a price of $45,694.
45, what was that?
45, $694.
There was a 550, correct?
550 four-wheel drive.
What's the lead time on that?
He's saying about 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, okay.
So we can go ahead and get it approved. And then that way too, if we would drop link, I'd like to go ahead if we do this and advertise for bids on the remount part. Maybe we can get everything close together as close as we can.
Well, so what you're saying is that you'd like to go ahead and move forward because we did approve that in our budget for the next fiscal year.
Next year, yeah.
So, actually, we could go ahead and move forward with it, approve it, move forward, but of course, we couldn't pay for it until,
Yeah, but no, it's not gonna be,
yeah.
he said he knows at least 6 weeks.
But that would put us ahead of the curve for it.
We need it.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Yes.
Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Wood?
Yes.
Unanimous?
That'd be awesome.
That'll help us out
Remount, is
much.
that a older, good box you're taking off an older truck?
And I'd like to go ahead and advertise for bids to remount
That,
one of our trucks. I've got the bid specs, I got a couple of changes I need to make, but I'll make sure that they have it good to go for everybody tomorrow. Helping them, for the meeting of July 5th.
okay.
Motion to bid the remount. Second.
Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker? Yes. Mr. Wood?
Yes.
Unanimous?
That 550, is that a Ford engine or is that a Cummins? What is that? So it's actual
6.7.
6.7 Ford?
6-7 probably still.
That's why I'm running in my dump trucks, so.
Pretty good luck with them, Chris.
Sounds good.
That's all I have, unless you all have any other.
Keep up the good work. Thank you, Robbie.
You, Rob?
Thank you.
Laurie? Gary?
6.7.
I'll let Gary give you more details. 7 of our 10 emergency drivers are working on demand. And the other 3.
All right.
I'll let you respond.
Alex called me when you and I were in the elevator. Gravel switch has a board issue. There's one of 2 boards. And long story short, he's going to take the boards out and have them basically revamped. Now, we might have to buy a board. We don't know yet. He takes them all out. So on the worst side, that would cost us $1,200 to revamp. On the good side, it'd be $200. And that's just on seeing which series of boards they are. So Gravel Switch is having problems with the board. St. Joe is working. The problem with St. Joe is it's getting RF interference. And it's got, Alex has tested it, and Nelson County ran into one of the problems there. It's getting RF interference. So he is going to do some relocating of the antenna and test it and making sure the signal is getting completely through. So the signal's not always getting through. So he's doing a local search, internet search, see what's around there that could be in that certain bandwidth.
It's interesting that none of the others are getting that RF interference, though. Is that located down at the church property?
Right by the church.
So that's a good
Pretty
location.
open there, ain't it, Barry?
Yeah, it's open and high, Of course, the Spalding, there's a hill with one that's kind of blocked.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
But my cruiser picks up fine. doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't been to the city. Another thing pre-warned you about is that the gaskets on all the doors need new gaskets. We got a lot of rain lately, and guess where all the rain is? In the bottom here. So he's gone down and he's cleaned out some of them. He had to put new batteries, a couple other ones. The gaskets need replacing. But you don't have to do that right this minute. So he The others are functioning.
What's the third site?
Oh, Loretto. Loretto's was turned off by mistake. The
So it's
owners of the
working, it was just,
property,
it was the power, it just didn't have power,
it was
okay.
turned off, no, because the unit was making strange noises. So they turned it off.
But didn't tell anybody.
Well, they said they told somebody. Who? I don't know. All right, so the problem is on, I think one of the amplifiers is getting ready to go. So, and you guys know just what, if you don't have the correct power going to the amplifiers, okay, it's not gonna work. It's like a megaphone. Take 6 batteries, start talking, you got great sound. Well, you drop down to 4 batteries. No, it's just not gonna work. So he's got that, new batteries in that, and he's getting another amplifier. We still have parts on that from the old one. From the ones we got from Nelson County. The other one's got a generator on it, and a speaker, and it's got a couple of boards, but they're not compatible with the older sirens that we have in place. So he went and bought a new program, and so he's trying to get that all revamped, so he gets everything on the same up-to-date program. Everything goes right, all of them should work Tuesday.
Good.
He's going to try to get the ground switch finished. If the parts are compatible and they work, we'll get them in by Sunday.
And on those gaskets, I agree. I mean, that's critical that they're sealed, as you know, so that's something.
I'd say we go ahead and take care of that
Well,
if we can.
Well, you gotta get, you have pricing on those gaskets?
no.
Okay.
no.
Is there any regulation on not, why we don't put a lock on those boxes so they can't be turned off?
No, there's nothing I know now. Now, I know in the past, we left it so it was accessible. So if the chief had something going on specific, and each of the districts wanted to have the advantage to use it if something was to get serious and needs notification, i.e. say dispatchers are not working, so they can go out there and trigger them by hand.
The siren in Loretta is actually located at Business, correct?
It's in Brahms, right
And
there
I
by
would say,
Brahms,
and
right
I'd say what happened was, as Gary said, they was making some kind of strange sound, so they probably just went into the fuse box, because I'm sure has its own fuse, so they just kicked the breaker and went on, so, but as far as the power goes, I mean, that's why they could access that, because it's on their power.
Yeah, it's on
and they're
theirs.
paying the bill,
Yeah,
so, you know.
yeah.
Okay.
So, Gary, a couple meetings ago, did you have a question about the dispatch and the sirens?
Did you ever, in fact, a few meetings ago, we talked about trying to locate the rest of the stuff for sending out, we don't have the monitor, the computer, and the screen.
Yeah, the original software they had was called Sammy Software, and it's no longer supported. That's why it's not there. So what they have now is just a little encoder box. It's down there. If you go down the dispatch, you'll see a little Wayland encoder box, and that's how they activate them now, which actually dispatchers love, because it's just one. They can do them all by pushing one button, hitting send, or they can activate individual sites by hitting the individual codes. So yeah, there is no software any longer, because it went defunct, and the company no longer supported it because it was so old. So that's why they went to the encoder box.
So is there anything out there for dispatch and get verification back of signal reception, signal transmission?
There is. Actually, you know, what you have now is called a one-way signaling, okay? You can get two-way signaling, but in all sincerity, outside looking in, for what the cost to provide that two-way signaling, you're kind of putting good money in a a 1967 or a 1976 Vega. All right, so I don't, realistically, what we have to do with the equipment we have, because it is outdated, but what we have to do, we just have to count on local individuals or or try to find individuals near those sites that will call into dispatch or call into emergency management, whoever the POC is, to acknowledge that, hey, the test. So, but yeah, to answer your question, yes, you can, but you're kind of throwing good money after old stuff, you know what I'm saying? So.
Well, it sounds like we're making some progress on them anyway.
Oh, yeah.
At least we know what's wrong with them.
Well, we're down to really two. We know what happened to the third one. So.
Well, and another, same thing, we had a couple of batteries that went bad. It's just an accumulation of water.
Yeah.
So,
Appreciate it.
no, I'll get a hold of them to find out approximate cost for gaskets, and we go from there. I'll let you know next meeting.
Yeah, and I don't think, Robbie or Gary, you correct me, but I don't think the EOC down there has an encoder to activate. Are you all still using that? Do you have an encoder? You're still using the software, or you got the encoder?
I know it's still got the old software.
Okay, well, don't unplug it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, don't unplug it, whatever you do, so. But anyway, but if it does down, you can just get a little encoder box to activate them, so. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, we got it in the box there, but like computer, laptop.
Okay, just make sure, thank you.
Or anything else?
I've been working with Oxaw for COVID, and I found out the contract, for lack of a better word, for myself, yourself, Wes Cox, and Troy Hamilton with Central Western will be authorized to activate that system. Now, there is some training that's available online, but so I'll let you know about that, so everybody knows how to use it. It can go out countywide as an alert, or it can be communication in certain groups of people.
Yeah, you can actually do geofencing on it also, which is pretty cool. So if you know for example, if you know there's a severe or chemical spill, say, and it affects the Loretta area only, then you can just geofence that Loretta area, so that it's a nice system.
So I just need to do that training, I just got paperwork completed this week for authorization.
Was Mr. Cox the only individual that the city wanted trained on that?
Well, that's just who has been on it
Okay.
historically. So I just
Gotcha.
added myself and Troy, and the judge was already on it. And
Was it difficult to deal with, to get it done?
well, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Not really. They've been really nice when I call them, but you know, they ask for certain paperwork and I fill it out and I send it in, and then I don't hear anything, so I call them back and say, oh, well, you need to do this, you know, so I do that, but finally, it's all done.
Hallelujah.
It's just a matter of the training.
Excellent.
That's all.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Gary. Laura.
Thank you.
Judge, make sure you get that training.
I'll get
Also.
that train, there you go, in my spare time. Kay, animal control.
I'm going to pay for your bill packet. I'd like to get it approved. So we can start off on repairs.
On this list, that's through that donation.
It's all donation money. $15,000 donation. Got it, I'd like to see $14,665. Most everything on here orders free shipping. I'll have some room there.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Ellis.
Yes.
Mr. Wicker.
Yes.
Mr. Bishop.
Yes.
Yes. You know, I think it's awesome, though. I think we need to note that, make a special note that that is from donation money. So everybody understands that, you know, we do take donations at the animal shelter, and we try and you use them wisely, and just like to thank the individual or individuals that provided that. Means a great deal.
Actually, word of mouth, yeah, we've received a lot more donations this year than we have the previous year.
Awesome.
These people don't leave names,
Right.
but last year they still made the same donation, so they've actually donated $30,000 within a year and a half, basically. We
Jeez.
still have donation money from last year, but they went all this in.
That's awesome. Well, I know they don't want to be, whoever they are, I know they don't want to be mentioned, but I hope that we send them a thank you card, or if we sign a thank you card, can you make sure they get it?
Absolutely, and I take good care of it.
All right, Judge, I think that'd be great if the court could provide a thank you, and then you give it to them. Thanks.
Thank you.
30 grand in 2 years, that's pretty
Pretty
awesome.
good, ain't it?
Very good.
How's the day-to-day stuff going all right? The day-to-day operation?
The last 2 weeks has gotten really busy. It's getting season, puppy season, so people get out the door and come back, they're seeing where they're waiting for you. So it's just a revolving door right now. It'll be that way for about 5, 6 weeks. And it'll start slowing down.
Thank you, Kay, appreciate it.
Okay, Border Collies.
Terry Thomas, Career Center, she's got a,
You all have your packet. Did you all get my report?
Yes, ma'am.
We started 333 job seekers after the month of May, which is really, really good. We've had 2 job fairs for some companies, and then we're working with the detention center. We also are going to Springfield. We're trying to build Springfield Career Center every Monday. So it's getting, well, we're finishing a little bit on the process. I broke it down by county, because I wanted you all to see where everybody's coming from. And of course, it's Marion and Washington mostly, but we are seeing other counties coming. So, I had a bunch yesterday, we had a teaching job here yesterday, it's Marion County. Maybe it is Marion, I don't know, but, we are seeing different counties coming through, and people are starting going back to work. They're pushing all the work requirements for SNAP program. It's going to be in our office. They start, some of them will start July 1st. I want to introduce Ben. He's going to tell you a little bit what he's going to do in our office.
I'm Ben Whitlock.
I'm sorry, come on up here, we can see, we're old men, you know. And by the way, Ben, that's, this is our local paper, and that's Channel 6 over there, so, you know, there you go. Yeah, come on up.
There's a
I'm
microphone.
Ben Whitlock. I'm with Elizabeth County Community Integrity College. I work in workforce development, so there's a push from Elizabethtown to be more active in Marion County. So I'll be devoting all of my time to Marion and Washington counties. And our goal is to train incumbent workers primarily. So all of the industry in the area, we hope to meet their training needs by offering customized training specifically to the company. So, for example, if a company needs to train their employees in welding, we can offer that right here in Marion County. Wanted to say thank you to you all for the space here in Marion County to locate and operate out of. You all have been very welcome, and we're happy to be here.
It's at our Career Center now, so.
Yeah.
that's-
So-
that's-
Very good.
Well, let me ask you some questions, because I think your timing is, I just think it's awesome, because, you know, we all know that when, here's my question, is that we all know that high school seniors, okay, and high schoolers, period, when they graduate, not everybody wants to go to college, okay? Some, you know, want to stay on the farm, some want to get a local job, whatever the case might be. I guess my question is that how can we, or how can you help drive or assist those individuals at the high school level to pick up trades such as, and you made a very good point, such as welding? And the great thing is you'll be keyed and you'll know what the local industry wants, which is what we're concerned about. So how can you help those high school age kids, or can you?
We can. I really believe in partnerships.
Okay.
I have a great partnership with the Career Center, and I'm also developing a partnership with the ATC and the high school. What we hope to do is to offer dual credit opportunities for those high school students so that they can work towards a degree at ECTC while they're in high school.
That's awesome.
So, for example, we have a great program that's called Kentucky Fame. It's a program through the state that allows students to work for an industry. The industry is actually sponsored those students. They will work 2 days a week at that industry to get their foot in the door, and they'll attend classes with us for 3 days a week. At the end of the 2-year degree, those students sometimes are eligible for employment in those sponsored companies, and I've heard anywhere from $75,000 and better, $75,000 a year that these students are making when they graduate from our program. Great program, and I think just getting the word out there and making those partnerships and working with partners that are already in Marion County will be very successful.
I think so too. So let me ask you this so I can catch up. I'm just old country boy. So and I love the dual credit concept. I think that gives incentive to the student to, to apply themselves and to move forward. That's tremendous. And you'll be working with ATC, you said, okay? I guess my question is that who decides on what programs? So for example, I guess my question is, let's say that one of our local manufacturers said, hey, I want to team with you. We're looking, we need help in, let's take drywall or whatever it might be. It could be anything, electric, whatever. Then will you work with ATC to get that, or how's that work? How can we be assured that they're going to provide the educational, because here's the thing, I have no doubt ETC speaks for itself, okay? Speaks for itself, and it's great to have you here. But I do have a concern in regards to ensuring that those programs are managed and ran effectively, because we've seen some things in the past, I'll be honest with you straight up, that aren't very flattering, okay? So how can you, or where does that go? How do we know that they're going to provide the training courses that we need?
Well, to use your example in drywall, we could set up an apprenticeship program with the company to specifically meet their needs. If we build the partnership that I hope to build with ATC, they would be able to take their classes both at the ATC and at ECTC here in Marion County or even at our campus in Springfield to develop those skills in drywall, for example, and then put those skills to use in the industry.
All right, well, I tell you what, it is great to have you here, and I think your timing's impeccable. Let me say this, though, and Terry knows this, don't be a stranger to this court, because I will say this, I think it's critical that, that our youth graduating, those individuals who want to get into a career, because the fact is that there's a lot of individuals that have graduated college, and they do very well, and there's a lot of individuals that go to a trade school and they do really well. So I guess my point is that if you have any issues or any concerns or any troubles, I hope you know you have a friend in this court, okay? So don't be afraid to come to us. We'll do what we can to support you.
Thank you very much, we appreciate that.
All right.
Glad to have you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Very much you can do if you're talking about the factories and all, the whole country's short on tradesmen, like drywallers, for instance. There's no big drywall companies around here, but bricklayers, block layers,
Roofing,
painters,
you name it.
Plumbers.
But there's no, for, say, a company big that, would take apprentices, there's like individuals, but it's hard for somebody, unless they know their dad does it or their uncle does it or something. There's a need for a lot of that stuff, because you can't find bricklayers, you can't find those old tradesmen that used to do all that. They're just hard to come by around here. But I don't know where they would, like I said, if they don't work for their uncle or brother or neighbor or somebody, that there's no real training.
That's where we're counting on this young man, Ben.
Yes, sir.
That's where we're counting on Ben to develop that relationship and that partnership with ATC primarily, and of course ETC and your representation, to develop those programs specifically in relation to our local industry and their needs, okay? I understand that. But so here's the bottom line, we're counting on this guy right here.
But he's also saying apprenticeship can be a drywaller out in our community.
absolutely.
That'll take somebody on. So
See,
a
I
lot
think
of
it's
people
great.
don't understand that that's things they can do over there. And that's what kind of what,
And also remember, ECTC is part of KCTCS, which is an umbrella of 16 community and technical colleges. There may be a program
in Somerset that we don't have in E-Town, we can offer that program as a partner through the KCTCS system. So I think the point is, for those programs that we don't have on the book, so to speak, we can still train people in Marion County to receive those skills and move forward and better their lives and the community.
I toured the Maysville facility. It's really nice up there. I tell you.
They're all very nice.
Yeah, they are.
Yes, sir.
And if you find anybody wanting to help Paul Hay, let me know. We got a bunch down, so just throw it out there.
I'll make some flyers.
Yeah, you know.
There you go. Ben, thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate your help. Thank you, Terry.